karibuni sana. Say WABEBE. Tuko ndani. We're in there like swimwear, because swimwear gets in there. Karibu sana. Welcome back. Hashtag WABEBE XP. The SMS line is 22047. So keep on talking to us, and I appreciate all of you pale mkiongea pale hivyo kwenye katika ile Facebook live. Tunawaona, tuna-appreciate, tunasema kwamba asante sana. Leo hii, this is made right here on this show. For the first time, this guest will say what she loves about Manchester United. I'm talking about none other than Radull. Karibu sana.
I thought there was another guest here. Did you say love Man United?
Yes, no, what you love. We can't hate everything. When you hate kila kitu juu ya Man, you kila kitu.
I don't hate. I just love something else, so which is not Man United.
You don't even love how we lose.
No, that's what I do. What I do. How you lost to Arsenal, that's when I loved.
Yeah, unfortunately, tuliwaachia. Unajua saa zingine you have to strike a balance in the universe so that there's peace. Yeah, so it's all good. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Willis.
Yes,
Thank
it's good.
you.
It's been a long time. Tumetafutana.
Tumetafutana.
Nikiwa pande nyingine.
Just live here. I'm a phone call away. I'm a DM away.
A DM away. Kwanza kwa DM wa mnatutusi.
Don't go to my DM, please.
Very good. Please jump into Carol's DMs. I want you to fly the DMs and say, just type one word, Maguire. That's all. That's all. Karibu sana. Now, first, I don't know where we're going to start is, I want to first, where did this love for Arsenal start? Me, I know my new nilianza class 5.
That was the other day.
Nikiwa na kina Eric Cantona and all of that. When did your love for Arsenal start?
Mine started around 98, 99. More because I supported France first.
So kina Thierry Henry.
Until Arambe Stars gets to the World Cup, France is my team. Although I wanted Argentina to win the last World Cup. I'm just putting that out there.
Right.
But because I supported France and then they won the 98 World Cup, and then I looked at most of their players, I followed most of their players, and they all went back to Arsenal. The Vieiras, I think that was Thierry's first World Cup, the Wiltords, the Perez's. So I just loved the way they played. Then I fell in love with Wenger. Oh, Silver Fox. No, but then I realized they play very beautiful and entertaining football, and it didn't hurt that they were winning.
Yes. The proverbial tiki-taka, sexy football. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know why you fall in love with my new team.
But at least me, I can say I watched Arsenal during their glory years.
Yes.
And when you're committed to something, you stick with it.
Right.
When you love, it is through
thick and thin.
Thick and thin.
Yes.
So even though the last 2 decades, there's been no league title.
Yes. Yeah.
Thick and thin. It's coming. It's coming.
Hiyo coming, naweza waambia sisi kama post-Ferguson era, hata sisi tumeingoja sana. Be careful with it. It's coming.
Yeah, but you guys need help. Let me tell you, for Arsenal, it's a realistic dream. Last season, and people forget, last season, Arsenal's target was to finish 4th. We'd not been in the Champions League for so many years. That was the target. Okay. The fact that we overachieved, that is why people feel we were disappointed. We were not disappointed.
But, my Caro, to be honest, towards let's say the last 10, let's even put it at 12 games, the talk on Arsenal is kwa hii ligi ni yetu. Hii kitu sasa tumeshinda. Give people
by the
time.
way, the fans who talk like that don't even watch the games because we didn't even have a squad for winning the title. Not even compared to Man City. Yeah. Not even because of injuries. We didn't have the squad. We were missing, first of all, that Rice position. We were missing 1 or 2 players. Goalkeeping was okay. We didn't have backup, but it was good. But people forget that. People who don't even watch. They're just people who are Arsenal fans because they hear we're doing well. So if you actually watched, you could tell even by Christmas that we're not going to survive this. But then you hope. Why give up hope?
Yes.
If your child gets all straight A's and one day gets a D, it's just one day. You'll be back.
Yes. Kulikuwa na the hope because also during the World Cup, everybody was like, oh no, players watachoka, World Cup, nini. Anyway, I want to tell you, I know something about hope. Ole Gunnar, Rangnick, Carrick. Kila mtu and now Eric Ten Hag.
Me, I believe the person who ruined your club is the same person who brought it all the success. So Alex Ferguson.
Yes.
He did not scout for a proper successor. He's those people who make sure when they're not at work, the backup is rubbish so that you will never forget me.
Yes.
he selected the wrong person to succeed him. And then after that, it was just a mess.
Yeah, Mr.
Right now,
Mr. West Ham.
Ten Hag, I don't even know if he's the guy for you. How do you feel? Let me ask you. How do you feel?
The interviewer becomes the interviewee. How do I feel? I have a multiplicity of feelings. Number one, now that
and
for
is Ten Hag the problem, or are the ownership of the club the problem?
I personally think if we would have sold the club, I mean, there are a lot of deep-seated things I feel. If we would have sold the club, got more money in, because the management generally has changed post Ed Woodward. A lot of things have changed, right? Ed Woodward,
priorities have changed.
Yes, and the players had the right attitude. But then I think Eric Ten Hag, man management when it came to the Cristiano Ronaldo debacle, fine. But now with Sancho and Nani and all these things, and you know what normally happens, even with the great hashtag Pogba, it was, so you have a player who has a lot of influence in the dressing room and you don't like him. So what's going to happen? You're going to lose the dressing room. If you lose the dressing room...
Yeah, you've killed something. Can I tell you a secret? Yeah. And I'll never repeat it. And even on this show, I'll say that you I don't know, did something. Sport. I actually think Maguire is going to turn out to be one of your most valuable players. Yeah.
Hold on. Maguire Moja, Harry.
England can't be wrong. Man United, Ten Hag can't be 100% wrong. And the managers who've been there before him, you guys are just impatient. And that's unfortunate for all clubs. For all clubs. We live in such an impatient time that 2-3, okay, him is had enough. He's had too many own goals.
Right.
But don't be quick to write off a player. Examine even his own goals if you look at them. He was actually trying to defend.
He was trying to defend Nivelle.
Because maybe somebody else made a mistake.
Yes, yes.
I actually believe Maguire will come good for you guys.
Harry Maguire.
Didn't he rescue you the other day?
He did. And Onana also
saved the penalty.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for a sign that God is in the miracle working business, Onana alitu save penalty pale 92, alafu pia Maguire akafunga. Beautiful stuff.
But this is our season. This is Arsenal's season. I still believe it. Despite what happened with the who beat us the other day? Newcastle,
yes.
Who rigged the results? Despite that, 6 or 7 fouls.
In the words of Gary Neville.
That were ignored.
In the words of Gary Neville, especially the goal, he said, how come Arsenal, this game is shot by multiple cameras, but there is only one angle that you look at tunaonyeshwa ati ball iko out. What is the FIFA rule? If it is until you go fully out, right? But if you keep up in the balance...
Depends who you support.
It's debatable. Anyway, that's okay. But before we get into the sports, of course, let's go back to you as Carol, because everybody, of course, has followed you and your love for sports and your career. Where did it all begin? What was the first time you would say you got into the media fraternity? What was that experience like?
Oh gosh, I've been in the media for 30 years.
Yes, so you're day one.
So it's a long time.
Yeah.
But when I started, I was doing financial news, I was doing political news, things like that. Sport, I almost fell into it because I was a fan. I was naturally a fan. So at Radio Africa, I just fell into doing the sports show. And then out of my own initiative, decided to see what I could do for Kenyan sport.
Right.
Because it's well and good, we're talking Arsenal, we're laughing, Man United. By the way, when Arsenal lose, I cry for exactly 3 minutes.
And that's it.
But when it is my club, oh girl, I can cry for a week. I cried with Jerry Monyango the day Gor Mahia, I think it was 2012 season.
Yes.
When they lost on the last day of the season to Tusker, I cried. And that's when I can cry. It's allowed. It's my blood. It's my people.
Yes.
So I felt that we also need to create our own. We'll never get to Premier League standard because when we do eventually get there, they will be on another level.
Right.
But let's try and also develop what we have. Because if there's something Kenya doesn't lack, it's talent. So those are things that started frustrating me almost 15 years ago. And I'm like, no. Let's try and do something about it. I have a platform. I have people who listen. Now there's social media that's made it so much easier because there's so many voices right now supporting Kenyan sport as well. Right. And it's not just football and rugby. I've discovered there are so many sports in this roll ball. I don't know, kabaddi.
Yes.
Badminton. Okay, I played badminton.
Right.
But there's so many sports people who make the same sacrifices, waking up early in the morning, working hard, focused, whatever, to try and do well for this country, including in athletics. Who
Saved by the bell.
Saved by the bell.
All right, yeah.
But there's so many sports people in different disciplines who deserve to be respected, deserve to earn from their sport, deserve to be recognized. And I don't think we do enough for our own sports people with the platforms we have. So I made it a personal mission almost 15 years ago. I've slowed down a bit this year because I'm raising my daughter.
Right.
She's a handful. You know,
yes.
you know.
Yes.
By the way, I saw something on your Insta story.
Yes.
At the kids, when they see parents have 2 minutes of rest. Exactly. So I've slowed down a little bit, but in terms of using my, especially social media platforms, I will always promote Kenyan sports and sports people. Why? They deserve much better than we give them.
Right. So what do you think is the the challenge? Because like you said, 15 years, right? I don't know. Okay, first question before we go into the challenges.
The challenge is we have leaders who don't care about sports.
Are we, which is true, even just by the CSs they've been putting for sports. Anyway, sorry for another day. But if 15 years ago and now, do you think we've made progress?
We have.
What does progress look like then?
We have, because I remember the first game I ever went for, I think it was late 2007. It was Sony Sugar versus Tusker. I even remember it was at Nyayo Stadium and it was empty. The game was, and when I say empty, it's officials, technical bench, and nothing else.
Right.
It was no different even in Gor games. Even Gor games would have maybe 1,000-2,000 people in the Gor games. AFC had been relegated. I think they were relegated. Was it the end of 2007? Then 2008, they sulked. They refused to be relegated and they came back.
Right.
But there were no fans for any games. Harambee Stars, even Harambee Stars had a few people. So we actually started fan initiatives. Okay. First of all, through Kiss 100, and then later on through other platforms, just telling people, come and appreciate what we have. And if you look at the leagues now, the return of Shabana. Wow. There is a God.
Yes.
Shabana have brought this new life. Did you see, was it Baraki Sports Ground the other weekend? Full to capacity.
All the way, yes.
So when you have even Gor Mahia games now, it have decent crowds. You can still do better, but they're very, very decent crowds. So things have improved over the last 14 years. When I started, I think it's the next year that SuperSport came in, was showing games live. And then, of course, social media has helped because it allows people who are not in mainstream media to also promote the matches and stuff. So I took a front line on that. I did it on radio. Other people joined. Now it has a legs of its own. There's so many sports journalists now and analysts and fans who are actually pushing the game on their individual platforms. And I like to say I was around the first person who did that.
Yes.
So things have improved. Where we haven't improved is in the professional marketing and branding of our sport. Because that is the gap between getting money on board. Because money comes from corporates. Corporates come when the fans are there. Fans want a good product. If you're not managed well and you even go to the stadium and you see sloppy football, you're not going to come back.
Right.
So it's like a whole ecosystem but it starts with them managing the sport properly, creating superstars, supporting the players who are there so that we feel affiliated to them and we feel, the word's not affiliated, the word's affinity, towards these sports people. So we go out of our way every weekend to go and watch them.
Right.
And then the corporates will come. So we still don't have enough corporate money. We barely have, apart from betting companies and a few.
Or clubs that are owned by the corporates.
Yeah. And even that is, they're more or less CSR projects, not necessarily professional football institutions. So there is where I feel we're banging our heads on a brick wall, but I feel the responsibility lies with us, the fans, because if those stadiums were full, all these corporates would be there.
Right.
Because what are they? They're looking for numbers. It's a numbers game. If you have viewers on your show here, you get money.
Yes.
It's the same with sports.
Right.
And we've not yet... I've interviewed so many club owners and coaches and whatever over the years, and they're also missing what is needed to attract a sponsor. They're, hey, Radull, get a sponsor for our club. I got one. It was a corporate club. Let me just say the names. Oh, they are Sony Sugar. They asked me to find them a sponsor for their club. Right. And I told them, okay, first you'd have to change your name.
Yeah.
Which they didn't want to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what corporate's going to sponsor another corporate? So there's so many things they don't get on how you brand and how you market. And I feel they need to hire professionals. Get a marketing person. It doesn't have to be someone who knows sports. It needs to be someone who knows marketing. Get someone who does branding. Get people, upgrade your social media. And a lot of clubs are doing well. Yeah. But there's a lot more that can still be done.
What about in terms of the management of the sport? Because again, corporates would complain if you play devil's advocate that we want to come, we want to give you money. But even in this club, we don't have structures, we don't have accountability.
That's another thing. Yeah. That's another thing. And it's most of the clubs. The money just gets fizzled away somewhere, you know. Yeah. It doesn't reach the players. The corporate is there sitting, I gave this club 30 million the other day and players are on strike. Where's the money gone? And they can't trace it. So, but I also feel if a corporate is willing, they can also push for those structures. For example, they can say, we're going to pay players directly. Put them on our payroll, we'll pay them at the end of the month, you know, so that the management of the club doesn't handle a lot of cash. But you can't do that 100%, like the gate. My own club, Kogalo, people, by the way, there are fans who say, we're not paying. I'm saying, why? Because we don't know where the money goes.
Yes.
So all the clubs have that mistrust from the fans, and nobody wants to give them money. Fans want to give them money. Corporates want to give them money. And it's unfortunate. I think we have people who are not passionate about sport, managing sport. And that's one of the biggest problems. It's not a job. Sports can't be a job. It has to be something you're passionate about first so that you do it right.
And if you look at then, because even FIFA, by the way, before they give you everything, I mean, we've spoken about CAF club licensing rules. We've spoken about
FIFA doesn't care about Africa. Put it out there.
They don't care about Africa?
They look for Africa when it's time to vote.
Oh, for the
because Africa have numbers when it comes to the FIFA executive committee. Africa has numbers. But they need 5 countries every 4 years to go for the World Cup. So as long as there are 5 countries that have done well in their football, and it's going to be the West African nations, it's going to be the North African nations, you know,
Moroccos,
they really don't care much about football. Then they give you the money, it's the job. Every 4. Did you watch that FIFA documentary?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
The 1.2.
Let me not get you sued. Let's leave it there.
So then, what if you were to be asked, because you were in the committee as well, what would be then the solutions? What are some of the...
What, the sports committee?
Yeah.
The illegal committee.
Yeah,
the government formed an illegal committee. And then we were fired after 4 months. And by the way, we haven't been paid.
Yes.
Yes. My friend Ababu, pay your people, man. You can't be setting up a committee that is going to change the game and then you do exactly what you're trying to fix.
Right.
You're trying to fix the industry. You're trying to make sure talent gets paid. But you hire us and then you don't pay us.
Right.
Those are the stories. But he knows.
Yeah.
He knows. I'm waiting for Akote to tweet. Hey, I love that girl. But yeah, those are other. But if we were allowed to work as a committee based on the terms of reference, I'm telling you, we'd have changed sport in this country. But unfortunately, I don't think the intentions were right. Because after the first 2 or 3 weeks, we were told, actually, stop what you're doing. This is what we want you to do. So I'm like, okay, were we hired to think and implement or
rubber stamp,
we were doing?
Belt, right.
If you want someone who is doing, just go on the street and find someone who's doing. You can't bring all these brains and then tell us, do this, do this, do this. So even before the committee was dismantled, we were like, okay, what exactly are we doing? Why exactly were we appointed? So, I mean, those are housekeeping issues.
Right.
I don't mind if they go on air because I've said the truth.
Right.
So but you need people who care about sport. I need people who care about developing sport. I love that we reward people who do well, but how about we build people who show potential? Because I will feel more proud if I say, I contributed to the growth and success of Ferdinand Omanyala. And when he does well, I reward him. Instead of waiting for him to struggle.
Then do well.
I interviewed Omanyala before the Olympics, 2021, before he went for the Olympics, just after he qualified. And he was like, hey, Maze, I need a sponsor, bana. Hey, Maze. You know? Then he goes, he proves himself, then all of a sudden,
everybody's coming.
The corporates can do that. They want success that aligns with their success.
Right.
But the government shouldn't do that. The government shouldn't wait for you to struggle on your own to then ride on your coattails and say, I'm rewarding Angela Okutoye, I'm rewarding... Heck, I interviewed Angela when she was fundraising for Africa Championships.
Wow.
The government told her, we don't have money for tennis. So the parents changad, she went to the Africa Championship, she qualified for a Grand Slam. Went to Australian Open, got to the second round, and all of a sudden, they're dancers at the airport.
Yeah.
You know? And she's being flown for Safari Rally.
Yeah.
Where were you when she needed you to prove that we need to have the ability to scout, invest, and develop talent? That is where we are lacking. So that when we reward them, we can say, hey, Willis, I've been part of your success from the beginning. I'm not riding on it.
Yeah.
So there's a discord somewhere.
Do you think it's a policy issue? Is it ministry level? Is it top level? Like, how do we change it? Because even before, we've had complaints of who is in the office. I'm not saying now the person in the office has whatever,
I don't believe you need policy to do the right thing.
Yeah.
You don't need policy to do the right thing. So riding on this, I think we were talking earlier, and I was telling you my worst phrase in a company is that it's company policy. It's created by man. Change it if it's not working.
Yeah.
So policy is an excuse. Apart from 4 months in office, I've never had an official position in sport. But I believe I've done something to make things better.
That's
so you don't even need to be appointed or elected, whatever it is, to make a difference.
Right.
But if you are, take it seriously, please. It's not... You can't run sport the way you run other industries, because in sport, you're dealing with people. It's people. You need people to work. It's not like saying, I don't want to make a mistake. It's not like saying agriculture industry or the mining industry or something like that, where there are other policy issues you need to fix. Sport, you're dealing with people. If you're not developing people, you will never be at a stage where you're a success internationally.
Right.
Most of our runners, they run alone. They train alone. They started with foreign coaches, you know? We can claim very little success of what our runners have managed to achieve. But now that we know we have the talent, why aren't we looking for it? Aggressively, developing it aggressively. We're still just waiting to reward. Once in a while, we'll pick one person.
And then that's it.
This country is bursting with talent, Willis. Wow. Anyway, I'm going to get angry. Can we talk about Arsenal? Can we talk about this weekend?
If we talk about Arsenal, then I'll get angry. That's
no, by the way, Arsenal is also my stress reliever. It's like my breathing. I can, it's the weekend. Let me go enjoy the Premier League.
Anyway, it's okay. You're lucky you. Ni sawa, uko sawa na timu yako inashinda. But we'll be there. Lakini mushinda kitu. Unajua pia kushinda magame, lakini sure hakuna kitu. Anyway, so let's go back to happier things first and talk about this weekend. What's going down? What's the plan? Where can people come?
By the way, this weekend I need
celebrate.
People. The Edge Convention Center in South Sea. By the way, it's a massive, amazing structure. Whoever thought of that, well done. So Guinness is taking it over this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And it's basically going to be, it's called the Guinness Match Day, but there's going to be games on Saturday, games on Sunday, entertainment, opportunities to win. It's just, football is watched with people.
Right.
That is why we even say, KPL, we need fans in the stand. There's a player who once told me, I feel like I'm in an empty theater. Who wants to perform to an empty theater? Football is about camaraderie, coming together, watching together. And that's what we need in the local game. But that's what we're also going to do on Saturday and Sunday at the Edge Convention Center. Fans are coming together. We formed a committee. By the way, our chairman is G-Money.
G money, G with
And
the
can you
money.
stop complaining that there are too many Arsenal fans in the committee?
I want to lodge my official complaint because I want you to name the committee. Go ahead.
G Money.
Arsenal.
Mukami Wambora.
Arsenal.
Nana Owiti.
Arsenal.
Radull.
Arsenal.
Lawton.
Lawton is City, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but you see
we have a token.
There are 4. Arsenal 4. Germany 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. You're on the bench. You're on the substitute.
The fact is, we are passionate football fans. By the way, we're passionate football fans first. If you know Nana Owiti properly, she even misses KPL games. If you know Mukami Wambora, she even plays football. So we're people who are passionate about football first.
It's just unfortunate that, your choices in life, we can't, we can't always get it right.
So basically, we want people to come. We want people to come to the Edge Convention Center. Saturday, the early game starts at 2:30 until the late game when it ends about 10. Then we're going to have artists performing.
Playing?
This weekend. Does it matter? Do
we
we
just win? Yeah. Anyway, it's hard to.
We will just win. We won't beat Newcastle, but you guys rigged it.
No, the thing about Arsenal is this. This is my prediction, and hopefully you will not prove me wrong. Arsenal in Nakonga hivi.
I want to find out who we play.
Shattered kidogo. Then the next 2-3 games you need to,
we are still technically unbeaten this season. We're playing Burnley. At 6 p.m.
Let me tell you, Burnley, Vincent Kompany needs a win.
Tell him to get it somewhere else next weekend.
It's been
by the way,
6 games without.
The early fixture, we start at 3:30 p.m.
Right.
It's Wolves Spurs. Remember, Wolves are one of the few teams that have beaten City this season.
That's right. Good game.
And then, of course, Arsenal, Burnley. Then some others, like Man United, Luton Town.
Tunacheza na team ina sound kama dawa. Hatuko na malaria, let Luton.
Then Bournemouth have sorted the refs because Newcastle, we know they play dirty, man. And then, of course, on Sunday as well, there's Chelsea Man City. That's a match of the day on Sunday. So it's a Saturday and Sunday affair. As soon as the last match ends at about 10 p.m., we have artists. We have Bien with all his hit songs, Fena, DJ Protege. Maina Kageni is bringing himself there to talk Man United. But then you're complaining about Sony Arsenal fans.
So you're trying to say one Maina is the equivalent of 4 Arsenal?
Maina is loud. Maina is loud. He can be. But then I started my show with Maina.
Yes.
In 2006. I started my show with Maina. We used to fight on air.
Right.
I got so many pity votes. It was so nice. Maina, you're bullying that girl. So anyway, we're gonna have a good time. And then we've formed this committee of football-loving fans.
Right.
Because I don't think anybody organizes an event better than people who go for these events. Right. We know what is needed. We know what we complain about. But if I enter a band and Arsenal game is on and there's music, I talk.
Allah.
I need commentary.
Yes.
Allah.
Peter Drury.
Onyango Drury. He left Sky News. He went to the States.
He left. Yeah, he's supposed to come back. I thought he's coming back this season. Anyway, he didn't.
So all that will be there. Anything a fan has ever wanted, there'll be stuff to win, merchandise to win, food, drinks. Just have a good time.
Aboka food.
Yeah, I hope you're coming.
Yeah, aboka food. Umesema food and then Manu
you got
winning.
Stuck.
I'm there. Ukisema food na Manu, mi niko sawa. I'll be there.
And it's Saturday and it's Sunday. So
automatically.
Yeah.
So that we show you what we can do to Luton. It's like a small
Luton
team.
drew with who the other day? Liverpool.
Yeah,
in fact, Liverpool were lucky. What?
Liverpool.
They scored in 92th minute. Or thereabouts.
Liverpool, anyway. Wako kwa the cusp of the
One day, our sport will get there.
You see, that's the thing I want to ask. Because now we are preparing. We're about to start next year. You're going to see a lot. Next year, you're going to see a lot of preparations. This stadium being built, this one being renovated.
For AFCON.
For AFCON. What do you think about our prospects for that?
I wish we qualified. I wish we put as much effort that we did in trying to host off AFCON and trying to make sure we qualify. I think it's a shame that this century, we went in 2004, then we went 2019, we qualified. And 2019, remember we qualified when they expanded the teams, eh?
Yes.
It used to be 16. They expanded us to 24. We were among the first 8 to go home. So if it was still 16 teams, I don't know whether we would have qualified.
Right.
And then this one will be there by, well, there's still time to qualify, but as of now, by virtue of hosts. But I think we need to get our game right because we don't want to also embarrass ourselves. I remember when we hosted Sakafa once, and I think it was Musonye. Musonye was the Secretary General of Sakafa, and he's Kenyan, and this is his baby, and we hosted it at Nyayo Stadium, and all the games were empty. And he was livid. He said, Kenyan fans, you've embarrassed me. How can I bring a big tournament like this here and you called us bar fans, something like that. I don't know what he called us. But he wasn't happy. So I hope this AFCON, we do proper marketing. I hope we qualify.
Right.
Not just go by virtue of being hosts.
Right.
And then the fans turn up.
Right. I think the fans will turn up.
The fans will turn up, but it would be good if we give a good showing.
Right.
If fans turn up and Kenya is one of the first teams to go home,
it's a problem.
It's a problem.
It's a problem. Yes. Yes. Final question. In terms of, you talked about we have a lot of talent. In terms of the development of the sport, we love Olunga, but by the time we want to qualify the World Cup, Cristiano is still playing at 30-something, Jean-Louis Buffon at 40s, and, Ibrahimovic etc. But what do you think we need to do in terms of developing the young, the next generation of, beg your pardon, football players, or in fact in any sport?
We probably just need to put in structures for academies. There's so many academies all over the country right now, but it's like me and you. We feel we can hire 2 coaches here. We feel we have 20 parents you can convince to bring their kids, and they pay monthly, and we start an academy.
Right.
That's what an academy is in Kenyan terms. We don't have proper academies in Kenyan terms, as in schools that develop certain sports. And I know Victor Wanyama is building one right now in Busia, but it's still a bit away. On paper, in my 4 months as the chair of the Committee of Sports, on paper, there was a very good plan. Right. In fact, the plan was to try and develop schools that are already strong in certain disciplines into academies. For example, Nairobi School has a history with rugby. Develop it into a proper rugby academy where you also have classes and you have focus on rugby. St. Patrick's 10, no brainer, develop it as a proper athletics hub. Different sports, you don't even have to only have one rugby. Wherever, swimming, who's good in swimming, develop swimming schools. But that was a very good swimmer. Can I say that? I just thought I'd say that.
Threw it in there.
Yeah, the schools that do well in swimming, develop them into swimming academies. Right. Look at what Angela Okutoye and her sister are doing right now. Angela's at Auburn University. Her sister, I can't remember the name of the university, but then proper tennis academies. If you look at Angela's program, and I've just been fortunate enough to see it, you wake up in the morning, you play tennis until 10 a.m. Then you go to class until a certain time. Then you go back and play tennis. So if we had proper institutions that are governed, because our academies are not governed. Right. You and I can decide to open one tomorrow.
Yes.
And we get a KPL coach and pay him. So there's no set Kenyan standard of playing football that's being developed. You know the way you can say that's Spanish football, it's tiki-taka, that's French football, that's Brazilian football. Kenya, I don't know what our style is. Because every coach he could have been a goalkeeping coach, but he trains. So we need to have proper academy. I wish and I wish Ababu goes forward with that plan. We put it on paper. We're yet to see.
It's all good.
No, but it's a good plan on paper. Let's implement it. Yeah. Because then if your son is good or your daughter is good at rugby, your plan is they're going to this school. I need to get them into, that's how it works in other countries. I need to get into this school because I know it's strong in American football. This one is strong in basketball. This one is strong in baseball. Why can't we do the same? Right. And then empower games teachers. Even that is on paper. Empower games teachers to do training. Because in schools, we have PE teachers teaching football. Right. Let those PE teachers be registered under FKF. They get CAF licenses, all the works.
And they're trained. So then they become trainers.
As in every school, if you're training a certain sport, you've actually gone to some sort of formal academy and you have some formal papers so that there's a certain style and criteria being developed. So, I mean, it's all on paper.
Hopefully.
I wish paper
translates to action.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's well, hopefully, tutoke kwa hashtag manifest, ifanyike, ikuwe sawa.
But the raw talent is
there.
Every sport. It's there. We have our skier. By the way, we have our skier. Can you find our sponsor? We have one skier who's gone for Winter Olympics.
Wow.
Wanjiko Simeda. She's based in Austria. But right now we're fundraising for her so that she can go for qualifiers for the Winter Olympics. The ministry says we don't have money for skiing.
Until she becomes a success.
And she'll be put on that tinsel at the airport.
Through everything. Tunaendelea mbele. Kama skiers and have put
Let's do things the right way. Let's not react.
Right.
Let's do things the right way.
Proactive. All right, well, we hope that we will answer that clarion call. So, tafadhali, ukiona kuna game inaenda kucheza, jaza, go and support your log. Just the same way we have. I mean, it's great to support Man U and Arsenal.
But it's fun and games.
I almost choked. Yeah, it's great to support those two teams. But, you know, your local club, you can actually, you can actually, you might even know where they live. You can meet them on the streets, in the corner. You can support them. Like, you actually see where your support goes. You can, and also support them, follow them, know who they are, go to their social media platforms, encourage
follow them on social media.
Follow them
encourage
on social
them.
Media, encourage them. And then and show them some love. And, you know, for all of you who, especially community-based teams, I mean, that's the essence, the Madaris, the Shabanas. That's what it's all about.
Can I assume you're a Gor fan?
Yes.
Okay.
And new bus, new bus,
42-seater.
Yeah, now cruising as we soon.
Flying.
Yeah, flying in the Guinea. Just shout out to Matano. We now have a bus. Anyway, so thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
I hate being interviewed.
It's good. You've lasted. You've done well. Asante sana.
Next time interview you.
I'm ready. Okay. I'm ready. I'll tell you the glory days of Eric Cantona.
After Arsenal win the league.
Never. But then Arsenal sijui nitafanya nini. Arsenal wakishinda league. But when I don't have to worry about it because it won't happen. So asante sana. Keep on talking to us. Hashtag is WABEBE XP. The SMS platform is 22047. We're going to be back right after this. Successful people look like you in the great Manchester United. Peace and love.